is I'm going to go through Tinkercad. Aha, the recording just started now. Sweet. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys some things on Tinkercad pertaining to your measurement assignment. I want everyone to design something. I don't care if it's just a sphere, if you like really don't know what you're doing. I want everyone to have a go on Tinkercad because Tinkercad is like modern measurement, right? Measurement, we don't really use like, yeah, people still measure stuff and everything in a lot of jobs, but Tinkercad is if you're going into like modern education, you're going to have an understanding of how like an online three-dimensional tool is used for lots of different things. So I'm going to present this here. Okay, so to get into Tinkercad, I think you guys should be able to get there pretty easy. So pretty much what I'm going to do today is I'm going to start looking at how I might design something like this, right? This is super basic. Well, actually, maybe not so much, but everything in here is made from shapes that I've found under basic shapes. So pretty much your imagination is your limit. This is the sort of idea I'm heading towards today. The idea that I'm going for is I'm trying to make a little elephant that like has detachable parts that you can 3D print so that they can detach and be attached. And then you've got like a little Kinder surprise toy that you can then sort of build and like mess around with, make it do funny little things, right? Now, the reason I'm ditching this design is because see, I've got a cylinder here. This cylinder is the Kinder Surprise capsule model. So remember, we're working on this. We're trying to make a Kinder Surprise capsule, and it's been modeled by this cylinder, which has a diameter of 3 centimeters. Remember, Tinkercad is in millimeters, so that's 30 millimeters or 3 centimeters, and it is 4 centimeters tall or 40 millimeters tall. So my elephant's actually a little bit too big for my capsule. I mean, too small for my capsule. So I'm going to make a bigger one now. So I'm going to show you guys right from the start. And I'm going to show you what I want you to do in the process. And remember, it's the process that's the most important part, right? Outcome's obviously fun for you guys to like get to show your creativity. And that's really what I want you to do. Show your creativity, but we're going to mix in a little bit of measurement within that. Okay, so I'm going to go create new design. If you guys have 2 screens, it might be worth having this open on one screen and then have Tinkercad open on the other screen so you can actually start having a try at doing some of these things. So I'm just going to build up some basic parts of my elephant. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to drag a cylinder on, and I'm just going to make that the Kinder Surprise size. So all you do is you can click here, and I can change the measurements by just clicking here and typing in 30 millimeters. I want it to be 30 millimeters that way. To be a perfect circle, it has to be 30 millimeters both ways. I'm then going to change the height. If this is in the way, I'm just going to click this up arrow, and I want it to be 40 millimeters tall. So I can also just drag up from here to make that 40 millimeters tall. See how this cylinder has lots of sides, or like you can actually make it have more sides in here. So you can make it a closer to being a perfect cylinder by increasing that. So see how now it's just like a little bit cleaner. It's up to you guys. So this is what I want my model to fit inside. If you want to rotate something, I'm going to show you. See how there's these little, so there's a few different things. I'm going to show you a few of the commands just on the cylinder. So in here, if you want to lift something, it can all be lifted via this arrow. Now there are keyboard shortcuts, but I'll let you find them on your own. So notice that you can see that it's been lifted by 9 millimeters. I'm going to put it back down to 0 because I want it touching the ground, or the platform, should I say. So I'm going to bring that down to 0. So that there makes it go up and down. These ones, we've already seen that they affect the height. This is the length and width. So it's all measurement that we're working with. So this here is rotation. So I want to rotate it so it's a sideways capsule so I can fit something. So I could actually just type in 90 here, or I can drag it around with these arrows until I get to 90. Right, so now that means my Kinder Surprise capsule's there. So I'm going to use that to get an idea of how big my elephant is. The thing you're working on should be in the center. I don't want it on the bottom. So see, I'm using this little cube in the top right corner. Okay, I'm just going to check that you guys are all hearing that all good. Are you guys being able to follow along? I think it looks fairly clear, and I'm talking. No one's made any comments. Sweet as. Okay. So I would put the capsule to the side and build your object in the middle of the work plane, because then you'll get to see better angles of it. So let's start developing my elephant. So I think an elephant is what we're going to go for today. So the center of my elephant's a cylinder as well. Now I want to sort of start thinking about my elephant. It needs to fit inside that capsule there. So I might make its body a bit smaller. I might go to like 1.5 centimeters. And then how long do I want my elephant to be? Is that going to be good for my elephant? I mean, it looks all right. I'll bring it over to 90. So I've got to think about all the time, is my final thing going to fit inside the big cylinder? And I think that that's probably a good size of the body for my elephant. Now, you can do, so what we're going to do is, this is the beginning shape, right? So what you do is you get the ruler tool up here and you put it on your cylinder, and it gives you the measurements. So see how it says that it's 1.5 or 15 millimeters, and 20 millimeters tall. I want you guys to snip that with the measurements like that. See how I'm capturing the 20, the 15, and the 15? I want you to capture that and put it into your document as you go, right? Because then you can work out the volumes later on. So under volume of toy, just start snipping things into here, because you're getting marks based on finding the volume of these things. So if you want to get merit, you're going to need to find the volume of a few different shapes that are inside of your shape. So that's how I'm going to give you a merit mark. So if you work out the volume of this cylinder, so you could do the working out underneath there, or you could just keep doing this and doing things as you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add something on. I want my elephant to have I need a bottom for my elephant. So I don't need a sphere for that. Maybe I'll use this. So this is a semi-sphere, but when I drag this down here, it's actually going to be not quite a semi-sphere anymore. So I'm going to make it the same as this one. So this one here is 15, 15. I don't want that ruler anymore. It's annoying me. So I need to make this one 15 and 15 as well. 15, 14, 15, 15. Perfect. So now I'm going to get this and I'm going to pull it up so it's at the same height. So I remember that that cylinder was how tall? It's 20 tall. So I need this to be 20 off the ground. See how that little line on the side says it's 20 off the ground? So now I can add that on top of my cylinder. So, and what you want to do is you want to check that it sort of fits right. Is everything fit together? So this is how you make a composite shape, right? So I'm now going to, I might actually duplicate that first so I can do a measurement thing on the side. So I just did that with Command D, or up on the side there is a duplicate option, right? I'm going to have that over there. I'm going to bring that one back down to the ground. 0. Perfect. Now, what I want to do here is I want to make this part of that cylinder. So I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to click on both of them. So I'm selecting two things. So now it says Shapes 2. And once I have that, I can do Command G, or I can click Group over here, and it's going to make it one object, right? So this is setting yourself up for 3D printing later on. It's taking a little while. But now that is a single object. So that's going to be my elephant's body and its bum, right? So I also need to make sure to get this. This here is actually really hard to find a volume of, but I'm going to get it anyway, and I'll just get some measurements on it again. So remember, you just put your ruler down, put it on the corner. That gives you your measurements. Make sure they're all in the shot. Snip it. So if you do it piece by piece, you're pretty much guaranteed, like this will set you up really well for merit and excellence, right? So then I've got that shape in, and now I've also got this shape included inside my design. So I can delete this. So now I want to rotate this to get it set up to be my elephant's body. Okay, so that's my elephant body. So I'm going to put some legs here later. But what I want to do is I want to actually get a nice little front going on here. So I'm going to get a sphere. Spheres are actually really easy to work out the volume of. And I want my sphere to be the same height as this. So this thing here is how tall? 15 millimeters tall. So if I just make my sphere 15 in every length, so I will go 15 that way, 15 that way, and then where's the height? this, I tap here, oh, yeah, it's over there. So notice how when you have something in the center, it's way easier to like work with it. So I'm gonna go 15 as well. So now I've got a 15 millimeter diameter sphere. And what I want to do is I'm going to drag that up until it sits nicely on my elephant body. So see how that's not quite there yet. Oh yeah, is that looking pretty good? Is that the right fit? Oh no, it's too low. So I need to lift it a bit. So I might zoom in a bit so I can get a better idea of what's happening here. But I want my sphere to like perfectly fit on this. So I need to do the black arrow, drag it up one. Ooh, okay. This is a troubleshooting thing that is really hard to fix. So I'm going to show you how to do this now. See how being that high off the ground doesn't quite work, and being that high off the ground doesn't quite work either. So 4 over on the left, you can see there's a little 4 and then it becomes a 5. I need to change this number to halfway. So it's 4 is too low and 5 is too high. So I need something in the middle. So between 4 and 5 is 4.5. So I'm going to type that in here and see how now my sphere is like well fitted inside. So that's where I want it. I wanted half a sphere for the front of my elephant. And I'm going to duplicate that with Command D so I can get a measurement of it over here. So there's 2 of them. I'm just going to get my measurements. Remember, we're trying to take measurements as we go because doing it at the end is going to be too hard. If you're going for just achieved, you don't really need to just take a measurement of like 1 or 2 things. You'll be fine. But if you're going for mirror, you're going to need to have a measurement of a few things and join them together. So now I'm going to copy that, and remember, I'm just chucking them in as I go, and then I'll do all of the maths later on. Right now, I'm focused on like the design of my toy. We'll work out the volume later on. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'll join them together, and all we're doing is we are building up to a Kinder Surprise toy. I'm going to get rid of that ruler, the little X on the ground. So this is my elephant's body so far. Now, I'm gonna stop there. To be honest, if you made this shape and you did some volume measurements, this is enough for merit. But it's kind of like not really something cool yet, right? But if you were able to work out the volume of these things, honestly, I would give you a merit because you're showing volume of a cylinder. You're gonna have to do some weird estimation for this half sphere that's been squished down. That's gonna be really hard to work out. And you're gonna have to find the volume of a sphere. So what you could do is you could start prepping. So I can say volume of blue sphere just below this picture. And then honestly, just go to the internet, type in volume of sphere, and that will give you a formula. Look at this. This is a formula for a volume of a sphere. So I grab this, snip it. Perfect. I don't even really need to do, I'm going to whack it in there. Volume equals 4 over 3 pi r cubed. So r is radius. So let's just quickly work this out. So volume of blue sphere. Yeah, what am I going to do? I want to make this sort of to the side. Yeah, you can go there. No. You can go there. Too big. Okay, and then I'm going to work out the volume here. So volume blue sphere. You can do this on paper, by the way, equals, so it's going to be 4. Oh yeah, you can do, if you're doing it on this, you can either do working in your book, take a photo, or you can actually use the equation thing and you can just fully type in all of your equations using this. So see how I've got a fraction here. So I can go 4 over 3. Oopsies. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what I'm actually doing. I hope you guys can see this, by the way. I'm assuming you can. 4 over 3, and then pi across pi. So you can insert symbols from here as well. There should be a pi in here somewhere, pi. And then what is our radius? So we'll do that in brackets. So see how I've got my sphere here? The radius is, the diameter is 15, so the radius is going to be half of that. So 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. And then I just do that, and I can find a squared button up here. So I just look for, see how that's got power? So to the power 3. 7.5. Maybe I'll look at that. No. Seriously? Yeah, it's kind of annoying. I think they want you to type in the X first. I don't care if it looks like that. That's fine. So then you can just type that into Google. So this is my working out. That's all the working out I need. And then you can honestly just type in the Oh, wow. Look at that. An answer. Because we live in the future. So why would we bother doing old techniques? What we need you to do is we need you to Control Shift V, by the way, guys. Control Shift V. Then we know you're not cheating. So look, I know what I'm working out. I've got a picture of what I'm working out. And I've got my calculation and I've got my answer. Oh, I need units. This sphere is in millimeters. Everything in Tinkercad is in millimeters. So you just go mm, and it's if it's volume, it's to the power of 3. So that would be fine. Oopsies. Maybe this looks better. Yeah. So that would be the volume of something in your assignment. And if you join together like 3 different things, if you worked out this volume and that volume, added them together, that is enough for your merit level. Probably excellence, I want to see a good design, and I want to I want you to look into it a little bit deeper. But if you're going for merit, that's enough. So I'm going to show you just another couple of examples. So I don't want to waste too much of your time. We'll do 1 more minute, and then you guys are free to go. I'm just going to show you a car I worked on with a few tricks. Actually, I should have shown you that trick on there, but nah. So I've done that elephant there. This is what the elephant's going to eventually look like. I'll keep working on that and give you an exemplar with it. But so this is a little car that I was working on as well. Maybe you want to do a car and you could have like wheels that are separately 3D printed, or you maybe have your own wheels at home you're going to use on your design, and you'll just print the model of the car and stick the wheels into a hole or something. But this is the little car design I was working on. You can do all of this with basic shapes. I know this is a super basic car, but you can do a lot by like making holes and using. So this is just a quarter of a cylinder. There's just a block inside here. And then I've just used a cylinder. I made a cylinder hole out of a cube, and then I used the cube hole to do things together. So I'm going to show you guys how holes work. Say I wanted a what are they called? Frustrum. So say I wanted just the bottom of my cone over here. So let me get a good angle so I can show you what I mean. So say I had this cone, but I only wanted the bottom half of it. So to do that, you just make a hole. So you get a hole in here. See how that's like see-through. You move that up, move it on top of your thing that you're trying to cut out. Let's see that I got that covered. No. Remember to look at a couple of angles. So see how now I've got that. And then you just join those 2 things together and then add them. So group them. So now I just have the base of a cone. So you can do a lot of extra creative stuff using that. But you're going to have to take a photo. You're going to have to take a screenshot of your original cone and then work out how much of the cone is missing for your merit level calculation. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you for tuning in. I will upload this video in the classroom really soon. And yeah, have a good day. I want you to design cool toys. But remember, take screenshots as you go, chuck them into the assessment, and then work out the volume. Later on, you can use the same technique that I was using. Are there any questions? I'm going to stop recording.